And keep it going for our next teller, the one, the only, SusanVanDusen.
Thank you. Hello. Fate and Miss Morton Grove competition crossed paths in the summer of 1961. I was 15 and a half years old. My parents were trying to help prepare me for the world. I had worn barbed wire braces on my teeth. I had contact lenses. That year, my father had stared deeply into my face and said, "You know, you could be beautiful if you had a different nose." What? But you know, I checked, and he was right, and so I added a nose job to my resume. And my mother was looking at me. She saw a morose, flat-chested, bookwormy girl who, after 2 years in high school, had not had a single date. I could not attract a goat, let alone a boy. And she decided that her daughter needed some self-confidence, some social skills, and a joie de vivre, which did not seem to exist within me. And she felt that this condition could be aided by entering me in the Miss Morton Grove Beauty Contest. And when she told me, I said, "What?" But she was so excited that I decided, all right, I'm in. And so I teetered around the house on 2-inch heels as I balanced a book on my head. I wore a full-length padded brassiere and a girdle so that I could complement the beautiful spaghetti strap, pastel yellow straight dress that we bought for the occasion. I took her advice and smiled from time to time, and she said, "Don't mutter, enunciate," and I did. And so the day came. I was very, very nervous, and I went to my father and I said, "Dad, I got cramps. I got really bad cramps. I can't do this. You take the family to the Morton Grove days, and I'll stay home and read a book." And he knew me, and he said, "Oh no, we're going to have a family day at the movies, so you won't have to worry about things." The movie he chose was The Birds, directed by Alfred Hitchcock, starring Tippi Hedren. It took place in a little coastal community where apparently the birds had taken a vote and decided to ravage anything that moved. The most hideous scene that I remember was when poor Tippi was in a room, standing alone, and all of a sudden, the windows crashed in and bird heads are coming through the door and the walls, and all of a sudden, hundreds of birds are circling around Tippi's body. They're clawing and they're pecking. Spoiler alert, she survived. After that uplifting experience, I went home, I got dressed, we went to Morton Grove Days. It was a carnival. There was a merry-go-round and a tilt-a-whirl, and there was a big stage that held 3 middle-aged beer-bellied men and 5 beauty contestants. Now, 4 of us were teenagers. There was a 5th woman by the judges, and remember, I was 15 and a half. She was old, really old. She must have been about 23 or 24. Now, 4 of us were wearing the skirts that were tied in the waist with, the skirts came out. And they had bunches and bunches of crinoline slips under them. And then I was at the very end in my straight, simple dress with my mother's pearls and matching earrings. And all we had to do was step out and make a graceful turn and walk toward the microphone. And as I was making my graceful turn, I looked up in the sky and I saw birds approaching. Now, Normally, this would not be a big deal. But I had just seen the birds. And I said, oh my God, they're coming. Are they going to attack us? Should I yell birds so people can have time to run and hide? And at the same time, I heard my mother's voice in my head saying, smile, show the judges your beautiful, expensive teeth, smile. And I was beginning to sweat, and I was hyperventilating. And I got to the microphone, and I enunciated, and I walked back to my spot as they were saying, and the new Miss Morton Grove is the woman at the end. I was first runner-up. My mother yelled. She was just a gentle soul. And she yelled, hey, which judge is she sleeping with? It was not well received. But it was okay. It was okay. I said, look how far I've come. And then I had a future flash. And I said, maybe it's not important to win every competition. Because maybe if you just find something that's really important, not a beauty contest, but you work really hard at it, you may, in the long run, do something that makes the world a better place. That became my mantra at that point, and it's still my mantra today. Okay, so I didn't score the Miss Morton Grove crown, but when I walked off that stage, I felt that I was a winner. Thank you.